This joke has been cut.
In a tropical world of magic, the great age of peace was suddenly plunged into chaos. I was there 30 years ago, when your mom's skull was starting to get nearly well used. Then only 9 stood against his doom, a great leader with worthy allies. From Bonius Garglecock and his 8 identical brothers, from Bonius Garglecock stew through 9. But now, a bunch of fertile ladies must fight against legions of mooks for the amusement of the man with the paper face. And they also hang out and do cute things, because they are cute girls.
Wisteria, my co-hidesso, I haven't seen you since our last bi-weekly brunch. I've been beginning to miss that cinnamon crunch. You see, they don't sell those waffles of the most flavorful variety at the Waffle House, unless you bring at least one friend of a minority background. It sounds rather absurd, and I hasten to agree with you, for, as you can see, my downy coverings are that of the finest and moodiest blues. My tangerine-tinted damsel, my eyeball-colored angel, I shall just ask you to agree with me outright, forthwith, as I haven't eaten yet, and I lust, I veritably am overcome with raging hunger, with a terrible thirst for true syrup. Now, if you'll be so quick and kind as to hop into my arms, so that I may carry you to said Waffle House to purchase us the waffle special, I would be most obliged. Hey, did you expect Valhalla phones come out last decade? Well, no, buddy. It's maybe this decade or the next, or perhaps one of Max's descendants shall finish it. On the planet orbiting Alpha Centauri, in his zero-G hat block. To my hidden place I'll take you there, a simple dwelling swathed in a special air, of smiles of laughter, of loving is like. I'll burn away your doubts and memories dried. Say I, my sweet, don't shy from little Fenrir, for my touch or breath you have not to fear. But you seem wrong, different from last you'd woken. Don't worry not, my swift wit won't leave you long broken. Return to you shall be your blessed skin so fair, and soon again shall be your silver stare. The void of the terror you now hold for fast friend, for even storms must break and night time meet its end.
Playing with their memories. More like playing with their memories. Got 'em.
Who's the pig-mouse man with the two-of-his plan? Who's the memes who doesn't show his hand? Who's an artist who seemingly can't draw hands? Who's the man who can't make feet look right? And draws the Gwynol lines over tummies tight? And holds his deadlines for years and midnights? The flute artist!
Suddenly, Raymond lets loose a squeaking roar of delight.
Lesbians! It's not gay. If the balls don't touch, it's not gay. Zacathan and penis is not gay. They go all the way. And blitzkrieg their boy per se.
The government is a criminal syndicate, Vesta, remember that!
Did you know that the guys out west would wear their hair in ponytails and cry out? Oh, ooh, yeah, give me those cat girls, give me those arty girls, give me those young girls. You know that's how I like them best to be. Give their slurping honey pots a whirl.
Wisteria, Wisteria. Don't like some memorabilia. Wisteria, Wisteria. Your presence fills frog plebs with hysteria. Come on down to Max World, you know we sell living, breathing girls age 502 who look like they're 12. They're waiting for you. Come get one or two for yourself. It's okay, officer, it's a replicant. Everybody knows that you can't realize an object that you got. Family leave little girl by last. The heat's too real and I'm going to die. The heat's too real and I'm going to die. The heat's too real and I'm going to die. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. Flows in the tail ends and the meaning of spies. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot. It's too hot, it's too hot, it's too hot.
Sam, I don't have the strength to carry on. I'm so thirsty.
Me too, Mr. Frodo. The water skins are empty. It seems fortune has abandoned us.
Oh yes, that too, Sam. I thought you were talking about the Valhalla fallen waifus. Wisteria's the Valkyrie of water, you know. She'd melt so easily in this place, but she could still avail us. I first drink from twixt her tiny thick thighs her cool cunny honey Sam that flows virtually like a waterfall. I'm thirsty for female sexual fluid, Sam. It's okay, she's 500 years old. She's just tiny. But think, by now she must have attained superhuman scale in the carnal arts, like you couldn't even fathom. She's waist high, Sam. Imagine head-patting her as she, sputtering and drooling, tries to fit your cock into her tiny mouth. No, Sam, it's okay. She's not a real child. She's 500 years old.
I know, Mr. Frodo, it's a cartoon. I just didn't want your erection poking into my shoulder.
You're right, Sam. We should conserve our energy, rather than walk through this blasted land. Why not have a last coom? You wouldn't begrudge a dying man one little coom, thinking of stretching out his favorite Valkyrie.
No, Mr. Frodo, don't fall for it. They're flat and have no real personality. It's almost as bad as e-girls. As bad as that eavesdrip who voices that one villainess from that cartoon, you know.
Sam, listen to me, Sam. There has to be little way to Wisteria right, so you could just pick her up and find many things to bend her over and pin her to and breed her on.
But you're the same size.
If she's 14, which I'm denying, you could get like 40 back-to-back pregnancies out of her. Can you imagine while she's giving birth just fucking her throat raw, Sam?
Yes.
Can you see it, Sam? Can you imagine, Sam? Are you John Lennon, Sam?
Mr. Frodo, it's the old weaponry lure to get you to pay him for lewds.
So what, Sam? I'll donate if I must. For all that separates us from the animals is that we can make that choice to coom whenever we wish.
Mr. Frodo, the floof artist is literally behind those drawings, making that horrid awoo sound like a furry. So the Valkyries are probably traps as well.
2D is better than 3D PD, Sam. And even if it does go woo, and that means they're probably breast boys, I'm okay with it, Sam. I'm okay with Futanari, Sam. Jerking into traps isn't gay, it's the femininity that you jerk off to.
No, don't say that. You don't mean that, Mr. Frodo. God, I hope you don't mean that.
I do, Sam. I do.
Mr. Frodo, listen to yourself. You've been twisted by that wretched little doomer Max. There's an exclamation mark here, but I'm not going to read it really.
I think I'd better go home and leave me and Max alone.
Think about it logically. The characters are all in some way extensions of his personality. It's just Max. It's just Max, Mr. Frodo. It's Max you're jerking off to. You're just jerking off to Max. Think about it logically. You might as well be slurping on his dick. And that cunny honey is really just Max's yummy cummies. Max's cummies, Mr. Frodo. Ah, then, farewell, Frodo, son of Drogo. Toto homo. I'm off.
Yes! I'm glad that fast pop is gone. I mean, hello, get it, crew? I got Valhalla Fallen, like, right over here. Come on, follow me.
Max? Where do you go? There's all this stuff on the walls. Everywhere. Gross. 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 Max is not just a doomer. He's a coomer. No. No. I have to get out of here.
Mr. Frodo, I've come to save you. Oh, no, you're down on the ground. You're covered in your own stuff. I don't want to touch that. I'm out. I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to go home. I'm going to find a good hobbit hole to get into. Oh yes, a hobbit hole, and that means comfort.
Max, you cute fucking little retard. Give me it. Give me Valhalla Fallen. Release it.
Suck it. Back, cunt.
Sam. 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 Sam.
And so, under the age of the 2010s, with the failure of Valhalla Fallen to release, elsewhere on his dark throne, a certain writer for certain cartoon cackles madly and victoriously.
I hate you, Sand.